The MCU has been degrading for the past couple of years. Phase 4 has had few films many people have cared about. No Way Home and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness have been the only movies people have been excited about for a while. But the latter film is absolutely abysmal. This film is horribly written. The first Doctor Strange was well received, and ever since, Doctor Strange has been a character in multiple MCU movies, but he's only now receiving a sequel. This does create problems regarding the film being a sequel to Doctor Strange 1, as a lot of aspects that connect this film to the first do end up feeling forced due to this film being a continuation of the later stories like Endgame, WandaVision and No Way Home. In this video, I'll address large and small problems, and I'll present some better ways of going about it in this story, fixing character and plot as best as I can while keeping the story's premise and larger story beats somewhat intact. So, without any further ado, what the fuck is this opening scene? There is an array of problems with this chase scene, and I have half a mind to think that it should be scrapped from the film completely, and the events implied later on in the text. But I'll try my best to keep it in. In my version, we open up on a shot of Defender Strange's sling ring broken in two, and reveal that he is injured and hurrying along with America on their way to the Book of Contrivance. My scene is not a chase scene. The demon catches up to them a little bit later and gives them a shock as they are about to reach the book. The scene ends in the same way as we got in the film, except this time, America doesn't say the goofy ass, "I thought we were friends," and instead we use a throwaway line that confirms that simply killing America won't stop her power from being taken away from her corpse. Now, this scene is better. It's not perfect, but when dealing with world building as fucked as the MCU's, it's hard to recover without a complete overhaul. The existence of this book in of itself calls into question everything. But the issues like why they don't use portals, or why Defender Strange doesn't kill her instead of draining her power, are now solved. And no, our Strange didn't dream all of that. That dreams being alternate universes business the film introduces is shit. Burn it. By the film's logic, no one had dreamed before the Loki series. Next, we see our Strange walk through a portal into his room at the New York Sanctum. He and Wong have a conversation alluding to Doctor Strange looking for Wanda, but to no avail. See, Strange should definitely care about having a chat or arresting the woman who put a spell of enslavement on a whole fucking town. In my version, Doctor Strange has been looking for Wanda for a while, even trying to open a portal to her, like Ned did to find Peter in No Way Home. But she's nowhere to be found. Not even opening the portal to her location is working. Wong empathizes with Strange, seeing him work tirelessly, and tells him to go to the wedding that we see in the film. Strange is reluctant because he puts duty and work above his personal life, but agrees when looking at the broken watch before heading to sleep. This helps cement the idea that Strange picked being a sorcerer over his personal life, and it is in full effect. And we get more friendship development between Wong and Strange, while also giving Strange a meaningful goal of finding Wanda. This is how scenes are meant to be written. Achieving multiple things with a single scene or even singular line of dialogue is paramount to a good script, and the film we got fails at even the most basic of storytelling principles while assassinating characters we liked in the process. On the way to the wedding, Strange hears the sounds of people running and screaming, so he checks it out, and it's a similar scene from the actual film. Something invisible is attacking to get to America. Strange is confused and runs towards it, but gets knocked back by the invisible creature. At this point, Wong teleports in and tells Strange that the Eye of Agamotto is more than just a container for the Time Stone. Strange is confused at first, but then uses the eye to cast the spell he uses in the film to reveal the monster, and it's the same as the one we saw in the film. The fight happens, and for the sake of this video, I am not rewriting the fight. I'm not even going to touch the countless issues of Doctor Strange's powers being utterly undefined and how he doesn't use the spells that would finish the fight immediately. Just know that the fight happens and the outcome is the same. But instead of stealing the sling ring, America immediately is portaled to Kamatage, and they ask her who she is, and she confesses about the multiverse situation. And she still shows the corpse of Defender Strange to Wong and our Strange. But they talk about this dead counterpart with respect. In Defender Strange's dying act, he saved America's life and saved the fucking universe. Cut that shitty ponytail joke out of the film. I get that Marvel wants to be action comedy, but holy shit, can they be completely tone deaf at times. Wong and Strange have a conversation. This whole rune and witchcraft bullshit is cut. It makes no sense and is only a device for telling Strange that it's a witch who is at play. This time, Wong tells Strange they'll have to ignore Wanda for now to find out about this new multiverse threat. But now, Strange has a realization, and he tells Wong to keep the girl at the temple while he is going to have a chat with Wanda. Wong is confused, but Strange portals to where he was looking for Wanda before but had no luck. He then uses the spell with the Eye of Agamotto, and the area is changed from a barren, broken house to the lush, cozy house we'd see in the original film. Strange has a disturbed look on his face. At this point, many audience members will know that Wanda is responsible for the attacks. Because of this, we can now layer their conversation between Strange and Wanda with layers upon layers of subtext. Cut the line with Strange telling Wanda she made it right in regards to Westview, because rather than that, he'll say that he doesn't want to chat about that right now because there's more important matters, because Strange needs to care about Westview. The conversation changes to the monster attack. Wanda is trying to get information about America and her location, while Strange is looking for proof of Wanda's involvement. Neither of them are giving the whole truth, and they're careful not to give anything away. And Wanda is trying to seem like this situation is completely new to her. At some point, though, Wanda slips up. Not in the way we see in the film, though. She'd have to be a complete idiot to get caught out by forgetting that she doesn't actually know someone's name and then blurting it out. This time, she makes a different slip-up, and Strange immediately reacts, pushing her into her astral form to subdue her for a while. We see her soul fly out of her body in slow motion, but then everything around Strange, including Wanda and the spirit he just pushed out, start to fade away. And we get the neat red visual we actually got in the film, showing Scarlet Witch herself, demanding Strange tell her where America is, or better yet, if we're going by the logic that she always knows where she is because of the monster summoning and the Darkhold, she demands for Strange to give her America. But here is where we come to an impasse. I spent days trying to figure out how to go from here with an exciting plot that uses multiverse travel well and makes sense, and it takes advantage of the premise, gives a sense of urgency to the characters, and has meaningful payoffs. The problem, though, is that this script is set up to be exactly what it is: a boring, uninspired cameo reel that doesn't use its premise nor its characters well. I tried thinking of a script that at this point adds our universe's Mordo. I tried both as an antagonist helping Wanda, and I tried a version where he teams up with Strange because Wanda is a greater threat. I tried thinking of explaining that the multiverse isn't infinite, but is finite, with certain aspects always remaining the same, like Doctor Strange being a sorcerer, for example. Reason being, this shit film doesn't understand what the word infinite means. The fact that they were so lucky to find a universe that has a gateway to the book they were looking for, when there is one in the multiverse, and it has a Wanda that has powers and kids, is insane. They'd have just as much chance to get to a universe where Earth has fucking imploded and they die instantly. There are infinite universes. They cannot explain that America sent them where they need to be, like how they tried to, because there will be a universe when there is no Wanda and the populace happily shows them how to get to the book without any issues. This story, from after the point where Wanda and Strange have their conversation, is locked into the events of the original film, because it is already fucked by that point. If Wanda immediately goes to her, she wins. If she gives Strange the option to give her up, like in the film, then there's no reason for Strange not to gather everyone to fight Wanda. This threat is against the multiverse. These stakes are leagues ahead of what they were in Infinity War and Endgame, yet the character of Doctor Strange does not treat them as they are. This film is fucked by the premise, and the events can't be explained in a rational, well-written way like I was attempting without a complete rework from the ground up. But, I have always been a person who thinks you can still write a somewhat competent story if you have good characters, even if the plot is broken. So, what does the film do for the characters? And what can we fix? Because trust me, the only thing this film does for characters is assassinate them. So they need all the fixing we can muster. Multiverse of Madness forgot Doctor Strange is supposed to be smart. Doctor Strange in this film constantly makes blunders, like sipping tea that is drugged, despite knowing about the fucking spell that curses the tea, and the pot which has the spell is in the room. He tells Wanda everything about America without considering the fact that she could be a villain. The biggest character assassination for Doctor Strange is the fact that he doesn't give a shit about Westview. He actively says, you put it right and that's what matters. Do you remember what happened when Loki was on Earth for 5 minutes? Strange immediately reacted and asked Thor, can you please tell Loki, your brother, to fuck off, please? The only way to fix Doctor Strange is to make him smart and act like the protector of Earth that he is. He needs to be stern and strong-minded again. Moving on to the antagonist, Wanda. She tries to act sympathetic, but ends up saying some really dumb shit to justify her actions. She justifies that she wants fake magically made kids back, and that's normal. That all mothers create fake kids with magic. And she enslaves an entire town, all people now needing a lifetime of therapy from the trauma to live her own perfect life. She says is just as justifiable as Doctor Strange saving the universe by giving Thanos the Time Stone. She also says that she needs to kill America and take her powers, not just have America use her powers. Because what if her kids get sick and there's only cures in an alternate universe? What the fuck did the writer do to Wanda? Just give her a simple one-note reason for her evil, like power, or blame the Darkhold more. The writer tried to give her nuance, but instead made every line to do with her motivation into a meme. Introducing America. She is the new character in the roster of fuck-ups in this film, and to fix her, I would have given her her own movie and just had Doctor Strange in it, instead of the sequel to Doctor Strange 1 being her fucking film. She gets the most development and is the character which the audience is introduced to in the opening scene. She is also the one who defeats the villain at the end. Please tell me why this film is titled Doctor Strange when it should be called America Chavez in the Multiverse of Madness. You would think that Doctor Strange would at least be some kind of mentor to her throughout the film, and she would learn things through him. But she has to explain to him how a lot of the multiverse works, without his age and experience giving her any insights. It baffles me how much they put into her character, yet she is still more shallow than unmodded Skyrim. Her character development is rushed, and I still think she should have lost the fight with Wanda for Doctor Strange to then come in and save her, to show that America has power, but doesn't know how to use it yet. It also seems like she can open portals to anyone, not just anywhere, seeing as she was able to, save Strange from Brazil, and yet she hasn't tried to open a portal to her parents, who she lost. This definitely feels like an oversight from the writers, that she hasn't done that by the end of the film. The singular biggest problem with characters in this film is that there's no time for them to be characters. The one time they try is during the goofy-ass memory store scene that falls flat for being so lazily written. How, as a writer, do you put two characters together and not have them talk about their situations and how they relate? That part of the script usually writes itself, and all you have to do is find a spot in the film to put that scene in. there's only time in this script to move the plot forward at the speed of a Formula One match. Let's take Strange in America, for example. As a writer, you can notice, they both have powers. One chose to give up a normal life for their powers and responsibilities. Meanwhile, the other was forced into a life of fear and responsibility because of the powers she was born with but never asked for. Chavez and Strange could have had such a meaningful conversation where she is upset about the nature of her life and Strange tries to say he knows how she feels. But she won't accept it because he chose that sort of life and she didn't ask to be a part of it. Yet that was also unfair because Doctor Strange in a way didn't ask for his hands to be fucked. He became a sorcerer by circumstance, but America won't see it like that, mostly because she probably doesn't know Doctor Strange's entire context. This conversation is simple yet nuanced. It's an idea I spent 5 minutes thinking of, and it already adds more to the meat of their characters than this film does in over 2 hours of runtime. It pains me to think that this is now what the MCU has become. Soulless, charmless fanbait that only treats people like budgies that fall asleep when it's dark, throwing pretty lights and colours onto the screen over real storytelling. You know what scenes I remember from No Way Home are? The ones where Goblin is giving a monologue in the apartment, not the scene of him fighting Peter. I loved the conversation between the 3 Spider-Men that was filled with passion and emotion, far more than the scene where they grouped up to fight the villains. Wanna know what my favourite scene in Arcane is? Not the one where Vi fights Savika or the Turbo Kemp Tank Bros. Not even Jinx vs. Echo. But the scene where Silco is at Vanda's statue, talking to it as if he were there. Stories have the power to do a lot more than display pretty lights and colours. But this era of Marvel, and by extension Disney, seem to think that's all these stories are worth. That's just sad. Hey, thank you for watching. It took a while for this to come out, it took a couple of weeks, but I am very glad that it is finally out. If you haven't already, please check out my Twitter, and if you would be so kind, do not feel like you have to though, subscribe to my Patreon. See you in the next video.